All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday to everyone out there. Let's see who's in the chat this morning. I know Rune is here. Torch of KCK, good morning. GK Man, good morning. Pocket Women, good day to you. Uh, let's see, who else do we have here? We have Dana Reed, as always. Let's see here. Who else is here? Who else? Alpha Centauri, guten Tag to you, sir. Nico Wolf, good morning. Dave Addion, good morning. And yeah, I think that's everybody. So, um, anyway, good morning to everybody. I hope that you've had a great week. We're going to talk about the week that I've had a little bit. Um, Nate Godden, good morning. Sorry, it's dusty out here. I've been trying to clean a little bit. Um, anyway, it's another cold and rainy, damp Saturday morning here in North Carolina. And but that's okay because we're inside. It's warm in here, surrounded by kitties everywhere, making messes everywhere. That's why you guys won't see anything else in the shop. Just to let you know. Gonna be kind of a busy day today, and can't really tell a whole lot of details right now, but very soon there will be an announcement for a project that I am working on and starting with Tyler Thomas and Jeff Moss. So please kind of keep your eyes and ears open for that. Coming up soon, it'll be something I think you guys will really like. Hopefully we'll be able to deliver on it. So anyway, just stay tuned for that. That's the only teaser I'm going to give. The only as much information as I can divulge right now, but just keep your eyes and ears open for that. Let's see here. Sadly, no cats in clear view. We need to adjust the camera. Okay, here. Pocket Women wants to see you, boy. You're the big boy. Yes, this is a big boy. He's rambunctious. Um, Robert Patton, good morning. Let's see here. All right. So Rune wanted to see. Okay. Um, yes, everybody wants to see kitties. His tail is extremely long. It's very sociable though. This is a very sweet kitty. Um, anyway, you can see he likes to steal the show. So it's been, like I said, it's been a busy week at work, and I've got a box of stuff right here that we're gonna look at, talk about. So kind of felt bad the last couple times that I didn't have much really prepared to show and go over and everything, but we're going to look at a few things. Um, Other than the cat's hind end that he just showed me. Don't climb on the tripod, please. Thank you. Um, it's one of the things that we lost this week. It's a good old fashioned door closer. This is the what brand name is this? Don't. No. Get down. Thank you. This is a Doramatic, I think. Yeah. Yes, this is a Doramatic brand, but it has the same footprint as DCL 2000, which is Dexter, yeah, or the LCN 1200, which is basically the same footprint. And with door closers, the way that you measure is screw hole to screw hole, hole to hole. So this is a 12 by 3/4, I think. No, 9.5. Let's find out here. It is, yes, 9 by 3/4. If you're a locksmith and you need to replace the door closer, measure the footprint of the existing closer, and order one that's the same footprint. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same brand. A lot of these do share common footprints, but you can get, like I said, an LCN or a Dexter or some other ones. If there's something kind of weird in there, like they're using a Corbin closer or uh, maybe some other type of brand is going to have a unique footprint, so you'll have to buy the same brand. But standard footprints like this, you're going to be able to just order the same footprint. Makes it so much easier. It will take you less time because obviously all you have to do is pull screws out of the old one, put screws in for the new one, adjust it, and you're good to go. Door closer swap out should be able to be done in about total time of 30 minutes. That includes adjusting, calibrating the new closer with the door, making sure that everything operates as it should. What normally goes wrong in these closers is the seals break down. Inside of this closer, you can't really see a whole lot from the back, but I'll show you right there. Encased in this body is our chambers of hydraulic fluid and a spring tensioner, and you can adjust the spring size, which is referred to as the size of the closer, so you can increase that for a little more power. And then you have speed controls where you control the swing and the latch speeds. ADA says between 6 and 8 seconds, which gives you enough time to get through, get your fingers clear. Anytime that you're doing closers on facilities like schools or daycares where there's children, you might want to slow that down a little bit more, closer to the 8 to 9 seconds. Being from the time that you open the door fully to 90 degrees out and then let it close should be about that amount of time. Fresh install closers, you have several different configurations. You can do a top jam mount, you can do parallel arm mount, which is my favorite. But there are several different applications you can do. All closers come with templates for installation, so you can see exactly where you need to mark your holes, drill them. If you're doing on a metal door, hopefully you have thick enough metal in the door that you can tap it. Here in North America, in the US at least, all the bolts are quarter 20 bolts, which is quarter inch diameter, 20 threads per inch. So you can pretty much just carry a quarter 20 tap and pilot drill your holes, tap it, and then just bolt the quarter 20 bolts. You'll wind up with a lot of extra screws because they give you screws for metal doors, the machine screws, they'll give you self-tapping screws, and also wood screws. So you'll wind up with a bunch of them. Also, they will give you quarter 20 sex bolts, which if the metal in your door or your door itself is not thick enough, the metal is not substantial enough to hold at least a couple threads with the tap, then you would drill it a little bit bigger and sex bolt it in. I think I actually have some of those. Yeah, over here. Give me just a second. Yeah. Let's see. I don't have the actual bolt, but sex bolt would be something like this. You drill in, this goes on the outside of the door, it's threaded in the middle. So you take your bolt, run it through your closer, through the door, and it squeezes in and attaches your closer to the door. Let's see. Repair it and make a lock-a-pult. Yeah. I think we are going to have some fun with this, maybe. Uh, you can see it doesn't have a whole lot. We can try, excuse me, Kitty. We can try actually use my little LCM tool. These are freebies that get sent everywhere. Let's see, so this is the back check. So if we go all the way in for a back check, that will significantly increase the back check. Let's see, you have to have it replace Monday. Also stops in the near open position. Placing with the Dorma TS93. Okay, cool. More Chicago screws. Hey, Night Owl. S&M Lock and Key. Also, good morning. Metal doors, you use pop nuts. I guess that's similar to sex bolts, Rune. Um, SecureTech, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Now, you need to be careful when you're adjusting these, and also make sure that you look and see if the adjustment screws for the speed and latch are pinned in, because I had a Falcon 4011, which is a big heavy duty closer. I was trying to adjust, and I was adjusting the latch speed, and I guess I had like a quarter of a thread, maybe half of a thread in there, and uh, opened the door to let it close. There we go. You can see we got a little more speed out of it. The door came about halfway through the swing, and yeah, the little adjustment screw popped out. Exploding door closer fluid is awesome because these things are under immense pressure, like huge amounts of pressure, and it's yeah, rather it failed rather spectacularly. And then I can't remember why I was trying to take the arm off the existing closer while it was on the door. Um, I had some sort of reason why I was doing that, but anyway, I was using the battery of my impact driver to, as a hammer to knock it off, and when it finally broke loose, the adjustment screw that had disappeared, it had exploded out earlier. That left an opening in there, and when this came off, all the pressure came off of here because I had the door open, and it exploded closer hydraulic fluid, uh, just way, way up. Let's see, hard to use some on hollow doors. Okay, gotcha. For the Chicago screws and pop nuts, or okay, cold form rivets, poke nuts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um. We. I don't really use rivets except in certain installations where the metal door is just a crappy door to work on, and you need to get something in there, normally for like a latch or something. Um, but from the, let's see, is this my spring pressure here? I think this is. Oh yeah, that's spring pressure. It's there. Increase the spring pressure. I'm going to decrease the back check. So about there. Now, okay, so that still is not of the lock-up force that we need. This one we replaced this one. We were doing an access control job, and the door just was not latching, and you can't really do much with the strike, so we replaced the closer because we couldn't get this one dialed in right with the door. Just a storefront aluminum door. Um, See, exploding door closers are always exciting. The amount of time the customer will spend demanding you repair it is less spectacular. Yes, that is very true. But the cool thing is just the swing speed. Okay, try that. I don't have much left on here, and I don't really want closer fluid to go all over my shop. Yeah, I might do a video where we just play with this. Eventually, I do want to dissect one. I know that is uh, it's like really dangerous to do because that spring is under such high tension in there, and it can probably like kill you. But I think it would be cool. Um, Called nutserts, rivet nuts in metric. Hmm. I'm sure we've got something like that. And I can imagine what you're talking about. Normally, though, we use sex bolts, even for exit devices. Any type of metal door where the metal is just not substantial enough to thread, to tap it and thread it. Um, that's what I go to. It doesn't look great, but it gets the job done. Short of replacing the door, it gets the job done. Riv nuts. Oh yeah, riv nuts. Yes, riv nuts. I know riv nuts. Riv nuts are what you use to secure, at least in my experience, one of the things you can use riv nuts for is you put them in a aluminum storefront door. Because you notice sometimes if you go through an aluminum storefront door and it's got the push bar on the inside or the pull handle on the outside and it's kind of loose and jiggly, and you get there, take your Allen wrench, crank it down, it's tight as it's going to go, but it's still loose. Basically, you back those out. The riv nuts have come loose, and you basically just drill them out or pop them out, whatever you need to do. Remove them, take a riv nut, put it in there, tighten it down, and it will mushroom out into the door. And then in the middle of it is threaded for whatever bolt you're going through. Again, typically a quarter 20. And then you can re-secure your mounting post through that. Locks New York. Good morning, Jay. All right, so what else do we have? Speaking of metal doors, uh, yeah, hinges. We had a job where we replaced a metal door. We actually have three. We got to go back this coming week. Just started raining too hard on us, and it was a drywall factory. So there's gypsum everywhere, and it was rainy and muddy and nasty and yucky. And so we did one door that was just inside. It was an interior door for a little break room area. The old door was rotten. I mean, it was steel. It was just rotten as all shit, really. And so we quoted them, ordered replacement doors, took them out there, hung it, and installed a CO100 keypad lock because they wanted to have that restriction on there, um, basically to keep certain people out of the break room. Um, so yeah, we had to use ball bearing hinges, which this one is not ball bearing, uh, but that's going to be your commercial hinge, 4.5 by 4.5, 4 screw holes. That's not what you put on your front door of your house. Couple more Adams Wright deadbolts. These are the Ilco brands, both of them inch and an eighth back set. If you replace these, which these were replaced with dead latches, I talked about them a little bit last week. I don't wind up with dead latches to bring, because most of the time when I deal with dead latches, I'm installing them, and uh, so I don't have ones to bring here and show. But they're very important to access control, and I'm going to do a couple access control videos. I know I've said that when I have like a good weekend that I can spend out here and get some of the setup, which we are going to talk about some access control stuff today. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Do you want to do access control? Hmm? Do you want it to? Do you? Why? Well, I don't know. Do you know? You don't know. You just want to take a nap? Okay. Yes, you're a panther. We all know that. All right. Let's see. Jay, we would have waited if we were sure you were going to stop by. Yeah. Nothing but nuts today. Rib nuts, sex bolts, yeah, dead bolts, all that good stuff. Anyway, um, if you replace these, I keep a couple used ones if they're in decent shape. I keep a couple of the used ones, especially if they're in good shape and different back sets. Um, like you might get the what's the really deep back set one? Is it like a? It's not 2 inches, is it? Um, some weird one. But occasionally, if they're in good shape, then and you're replacing them because they want a different feature like a dead latch, or you're doing an exit device install. Uh, I keep the used ones just to have for an emergency repair. Also, when you get these, take out your little set screws. You can see there's a set screw missing on this. It's because I had to replace a set screw in another lock. Set screws fall out, they break, they get torqued, whatever. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have from a lever replacement. Did a lever swap out a couple days ago, just a regular grade one commercial lever, and I was going to try to reuse their cylinder. The existing lever was an S. Parker brand. We don't use S. Parker. We use Dexter, which Dexter commercial levers are actually really, really good quality. We've not had to go back and replace any that we've installed in the year and a half I've been working for this shop and putting them in. Um, so, I mean, Dexter, I know Dexter has kind of a bad name, but I think that's mostly because of the residential stuff that's out there and what, kind of how it was before, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know. But I know Dexter residential stuff is just absolute crap. I wouldn't put it on my doors or anything. And kind of heard the same thing even from some of the Schlegel people that the Dexter residential stuff is just defiant and basically they just lease the name out to put on it. Dexter commercial stuff's good. Anyway, S. Parker was on here. It was actually an S. Parker knob, and I think I threw it away. So I replaced it with a lever, and I was going to try to reuse their cylinder. Well, in a knob, the tailpiece goes horizontally, not vertically. Levers, it goes vertically. And so I thought, well, I'll just reuse their cylinder because it was already keyed to their key. The key is Sergeant LA, and it looked like the rolling hills of Appalachia. So well worn. And that was the only key available to pin up. I wound up having to put a new LA cylinder in, because this one, when, where are my LA keys? It's LF. I don't need LF, I need LA. LA. Here's some. Um, the clip holding the tailpiece on there, I had to turn it to this orientation. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me do this. Let's do this. Don't drop that, please. All right, so you can see on here the clip is like that. It's a little uh, spring clip. Um, and when I moved it, it actually winds up blocking the back of the keyway. And, well, these are 5-pin. Oh, shit. These 6-pin. Yes, here's 6-pin. Their key was a 6-pin key. And when you put it in, this is LF. I don't need LF. Why the hell do I have so many LFs and no LAs in here? Yeah. Why don't I have any LAs? Uh, 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 Use LAs. Yes. Um, 6-pin LA. Basically, what would happen is the tip of the key would hit the spring and it wouldn't go all the way in. I mean, you could get it all the way in, but you see how it kicks the tailpiece up. So that just wasn't working for me. So that's why I replaced the cylinder. They got a brand new cylinder with a regular rose cap on the back of it instead of a spring clip, because I don't do spring clips. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. Tim, how many full bring home boxes have you had while working as a locksmith? Well, Rune, in this part of the shop, I have about 250 square feet, and probably 85 square feet of that is taken up with bring home junk. um, I have gotten very selective. Like now, I'll bring home random boxes like this, but um, typically now, if it's something I can either use or use in the future potentially, I keep it. Any safe stuff, I bring home. Any type of safe stuff that's destined for the trash, I bring it home. Um, some access control stuff, depending. Uh, what else do I do? Commercial grade levers that are in halfway decent shape, I will bring home just because I have commercial levers on my house. And I did have one in the door over here at the shop. Let's see, 1.5. It's the deep one, 1 3/4. Ren, I think it was 1 3/4. Because I had a customer I did that wanted dead latches with paddle operators a while back, and it was a weird offset like that, or a weird back set. And I keep those on the truck just because, in case if I run into it, like you said, when Adam's right, if they um, you know if they fail hard. Now dead latches will fail, I think, fail more often than a dead bolt, just because, I mean, there's really not much to this. If you have some sort of malfunction in an Adams right deadbolt, then uh, more likely than not, it's caused by the I've found is caused by something with the set screw. The cylinder is spun in it. Um, Debris gotten in there. The cam on the back of the cylinder or thumb turn has fallen off. If it is a dead latch with a paddle operator, then your cam disc has probably failed. That's what I found anyway. Um, let's see. And yes, we do have the major screw kits on all the trucks, plus a bunch of them in the shop. But I always take these out. Well, I didn't with these. I did with one because I needed it, and that was on Thursday, and I brought these home Friday night. Let's see. Company came in and bought a bunch of buildings in Liberty, like 20 storefronts now, all in horrible shape. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, Night Owl, the residential Defiant or Dexter stuff is junk. Yeah, Aero clone cylinder. One was keyed to a blank. Wow. Jay, are you having to do any like God, if they've not been touched in 20 years, I imagine you have to probably have to God, I can't imagine. Adjust the pivots. Of course, clean and lube everything, adjust your pivots, closers, uh dead bolts, dead latches, exit devices. Jeez. Jeez, you got your hands full. Oh well. I've actually gotten pretty good at dead latch installs on storefront doors. I've done in the past 2 weeks. I think I've installed, including some for access control. We did one the other day for a Salto system. Saltos are kind of our biggest access control system that we're selling right now, and they offer a lot of options for storefront doors, interior office doors, exterior metal doors, exit device trim, mortise body trim, etc. If you need it on there, they've got it. Um, but I had to do a dead latch for them. Including that, I've done probably 7 or 8 dead latch installs in the last 2 weeks. Um, and we have the major manufacturing jig, Adams Right install jig. So it makes it very easy. You have to line up your cylinder holes and then drill your pilot holes for the paddle posts on the inside. Excuse me, sir. No, you cannot climb the tripod. No. I appreciate you trying to be a cameraman, but I just I don't think you have the thumbs that are needed. Um, let's see. Biggest point of let's see. Once ran into a commercial property that had Corbin LFIC, which used wow. Have a pile of L4 LFIC 26D. Wow. Any are dead latches is the cast latch bolt cracking. Yeah. Most of what I install are the latch that has the was it the Teflon insert in the middle of it, and that kind of I guess reduces some of those stresses. Um, and I mean they still will fail. Um, let's see here, or someone else try. Excuse you. Yes, people love watching you, Teddy. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So please don't turn the camera over. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Uh, let's see. Or someone else tried to fix it, screwed the lock all the way in or not far enough. Now the keys thumb turn don't work. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, storefront doors all from the 60s. Ugh. Once free-handed a Herculite deadbolt prep. Ooh, geez. I don't even like touching Herculite doors just to rekey cylinders. Mm-mm. Anthony, good morning. Used half-ass lock and key to save money forever. Yep. Actually, Night Owl, this one's not bitten me. I get bitten more by socks than I do anybody else. Yes. Now, I did slam my finger in the door over there before live, about half an hour before. Um, there would have had to been a parental advisory on the video if I'd have done it live. Yes, Anthony, you got here just in time um, for cat shenanigans. All right, so moving on to the next thing. Wiser, ancient wiser. I am none the wiser. I'm not taking this thing apart. Uh, I got the house that this was on was built in 1900. It was yesterday evening, actually, when I went there. And an older lady that we've done work for before, they're selling the house, and they had been renting it out, needed it, rekeyed because a couple people had gotten in there already. Um, and so the back door had like not even a Defiant, like more of a hyper tough, Walmart brand quickset knob on the back, and the front door actually had a Schlage B60 deadbolt. Uh, so I couldn't key them to the same key. This was on an inner door, like it. Again, it was an older house, so the back porch had been walled in, and uh, there was an inner door between that the main back door and yet and the rest of the house. And this Wiser knob was on there. And I took pictures, sent it to my boss, and I'm like, "Can I rekey this?" He said, "You can, but you don't want to." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I just explained to the lady that, Wiser has gone out of business twice now. And, when you take something that old apart just to do something like rekey it, it generally does not like to go back together. I would have spent probably an hour trying to take this thing apart just to get to the cylinder. Not going to do that on a rekey. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. I know Jason rekeys old Wisers all the time. He's done a ton of videos on them. And that's great when people don't want to replace it. But that's where being able to talk with your customer and explain to them why they don't want to pay for it. You know, see, at least the kitty is looking into the camera instead of away. Yes, yeah. Let's see. If a lock is in America is really old, it is less likely to have plastic parts. That's true. Um, Schlage Residential, like Schlage name brand residential, doesn't have plastic in it. Kwikset does. Um, and I that's another reason why we have a small stock of Kwikset that we keep on hand just for emergency. No, 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 no. Come here. Okay, come here. All right. Just for emergency repairs, we keep some Kwikset stuff in stock, but we don't like it because Kwikset's junk. I mean, we sell Schlage. That's what we stock for residential. We've got Dexter commercial levers. That's what we like. We do have some general lock levers, and I did install one of those the other day because I needed a uh, storeroom function commercial lever at the same job where I had to deal with that LA cylinder, and wound up just pinning a new cylinder as well for that. And the general locks are okay to install. I don't know about their longevity though. I guess we'll just have to see. Let's see here. Yeah, you can, but you don't want to. Yep. Yeah. I mean, anything have all the special tools and factory specs, but that's why I charge boutique prices. Yeah. Um, yeah, night owl. All the space and depth and gauging sets of keys that you have given me are all up there. They don't get quite as much use as they used to because I don't do a lot of the same stuff around here. Sometimes I will, but they come in handy, when you need something. And I have taken the gauging keys for the wafer locks. I have taken those to work a couple times just to work on some stuff, and yeah, so they still do come in handy. And if I need to code cut a key here at the house on the fly on the weekend, I'm not going to the shop. I don't drive my truck home, so I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, the Quickset knockoff clones. Have you ever gotten a Quickset clone knob from like Dollar General or Big Lots? If you find one of those on a house, you're gonna know it. And the way that you're gonna know that it's a Quickset clone is you're gonna take it off the door, pull the spindle out, and put your pickle fork down in there to release the tabs on the cylinder, and there's not going to be any tabs to release. When you find that, if it's a knob and there's no like knob release, knob retainer release or anything on the outside, put it back and tell your customer that, hey, I'm not going to be able to rekey this one. It's cheap. It's not meant to come apart because those are the ones that have the little wire retainer that's loosely based on the Quickset Titan, how that knob is put together. Um, they suck. Don't don't mess with them. Just don't touch them. Let's see. Yep, gauging keys are handy in the field. Space and depth keys are for the shop. Yeah, and I mean we do like, and I've talked about it before, but um, for all our Schlage, Quickset, and Best keys, we've got the blue punches, and I've shown them in here before. I love the blue punches; those are awesome. You could crank out an entire set of space and depth keys for Schlage in a minute. I might borrow one of those punches again from work to bring and go over it. What else do we have here? Ooh, we got this guy. Got something else in here we're going to talk about in a minute. We've got this. Speaking of Quickset, electronic deadbolt, piece of crap. The reason we replaced it is customer just didn't want it anymore. I got everything but the battery pack, actually. Um, yeah. Smart key cylinder, cat toy, also known as the cap for your door closer, so it has a more finished look if you don't have a cover on it. Let's stand on there. Let's see, design house, ultra hardware, 5 star. Yep, that's it, Jay. Um, yeah, none of that stuff. G Keyman, the space and depth keys are, let's see, National Wafer Space and Depth and Chicago Fort National Wafer Decoding. Okay, so let me get the camera moved in here. Move my multi-lock. It's away. And get zoomed in. There we go. All right, so space and depth keys are cut out like, let me show you the Schlage ones, so then you can see a little bit more. Space and depth keys are basically where the keys are cut all the way across. Like this one's 0-bitted, has just a little bit taken out. Then you got 1-bitted. And so these are 1 depths all the way across at the spacing. And it's the same depth. No, let go. It's the same depth all the way across. So you have like a 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes, no, 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 please, please. Here, take a nap. Jeez, kitties. Anyway, so you've got these are kind of for calibration and gauging. You can use them to decode if you haven't had a lot of experience just putting a blank into a cylinder, or take a plug with the pins in it, put a blank in there, engaging, say, okay, that looks like it's a 2, that's a 7, that looks like a 6, to where you can basically decode it that way. If you do this, by this way, you can put in each of these keys and say, okay, number 9, these 2 are flush, so those are 9 cuts, etc., etc. But they're also for calibration. The decoding keys, let's see here. The decoding keys are basically and these are for smaller wafer locks. These are the National RO3 blanks. These are cut all the way across 1 depth, but no spacing marked out. So basically, Night Owl, when he made these, ran the cutting wheel into the depth and then just went straight across the whole key blank, the whole blade of the key. And so you can come down, and what you do is you take a wafer lock, pick it, and turn the cylinder halfway so that the wafers don't move. And then you can put these in here and say, okay, well, a 1 goes in here, but a 2 doesn't. So you know that first one is a 1. And then you go to the second wafer, and a 3 goes under it, but not a 2. So you know that's a 3, etc. So you can basically decode like the first few wafers, so you know what the depths are, and you can get started on decoding it, which is useful if you can't take the cylinder apart. Like if you can't pull the plug out, if it's sealed, then you can kind of decode it. And so if you know like the first couple positions, then you can decode it down to where you can cut like the first 2 or 3 cuts on the key and say, okay, I know that's what I have here. Then you can progressively kind of eyeball and pick, a couple other ways to get the rest of the cuts. Does that make sense? Did I explain that clearly? I don't know. Kind of doing double duty because somebody is hyper. Yes, somebody is very hyper. Here. Normally we have Elf on a shelf. Now we're going to have Kitty on a shelf. Come on. Here. Let's put Kitty on a shelf. There you go. Let's see here. Good morning, Lowell Forbes. Hope you're doing all right. Show him your fancy handwriting. You do have fancy handwriting, Night Owl. Very fancy. Very neat and precise. My handwriting is not such. Let's see. No, let go. Come here. Okay, help me explain the rest of this. Okay. Let's see. You can't all cut on jet splains. Yeah, we don't use jet blanks. We use probably 90% of what we have are uh, Ilco blanks. Besides, Ilco is located in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, so only a few hours away. It's in state. It's where they make Ilco blanks, and we just find that Ilco blanks work better. The God, I did cut my head off. Um, let's see. Yeah, the leash gauge for M1, hmm, maybe. I don't know. Normally, I'm like, no, if you don't have a code on it, then I'm not going to. It's going to cost you more for me. Get down now, now, down, please. I know you're tired of just listening to me ramble. Okay. Yes, we're going to get to something else here in a minute. Yes, we are. Cat learns that it will get picked up if touching the camera. Yep. Um. Well, excuse me. Here. I'm gonna put you way up here. Come here. Come here. Top of the bookcase. Ready? One, two, three. Climb. Get up there. There you go. All right. Now he's looking down on me, which I mean all cats look down on us. All right. So strike and you're out. We'll look at this multi-lock here in a second. So this is an Adams Wright electric strike, and I replaced it. It was on a school. We do a lot of charter school work, um, and let's see, how did these go in? These went in here. Something like no. This went in here a very specific way. I don't freaking remember. Okay. In here like this, maybe. This has been a while back. I don't remember how the hell these went. No, because they went in specifically. Uno momento, por favor. Probably don't need a 9 volt hanging around down a bunch of metal parts. Or it could short out and blow it up. Where is it? There we go. Maybe here. All right. Yeah, this electric strike quit working. These little things, when energized, they would release and allow this part to swing out. It's a rim strike. I can't remember how the hell these went in here. So they go in. There we go. All right. Now I figured it out. Okay. So they go in like that. Didn't have the screws in there. And why is that not going back? So that goes that way. Okay. So then you have these that come down through here. There, maybe. Like that. Yeah. There. Okay. Cool. So normally, the way that this goes is you have the latch from an exit device like this. So you have your exit device latch right here. And when you're on the inside of the door, you know, obviously you pull on the outside, it's locked. On the inside, you push the exit device and the door swings open. If you're on the outside of the door though, and you have access control credential, which is either a key fob or, well, here we go, here's another strike. Either a key fob or an old IEI keypad like this where you punch in your code, then it would send electricities or cut off the electricities going to the strike. And this one's in fail secure mode because it has no power to it, so it is not receiving any current, and therefore it's locked. Here's my battery. However, if we touch it, and this is just the way it's wired. There you go. You can hear it. Nope. Down. I don't know if you can hear that faint clicking. But then it's supposed to release. These jaws would open up and allow the strike to be pulled through. This one is an Adams right. And where are they? Got a strip. Yeah, lick that and see if it's charged, would you? There we go. So this one you can see is also in fail secure, which means when there's no power, the strike is secure. Take a 9-volt or current, and this one must be broken or my battery's low. I think my battery's dead. But yeah, it would basically release a solenoid that's in here. We can look at it. Let's see. GQ, man, I have been wanting a ceiling mounted camera arm. If I could get one to, like, if I could find a design for one, I would so build it. Like a good design. Jay, the first one, this one's actually an Adams right, electric strike. This one's also an Adams right that I just dumped a screw out of. And this one over here is excuse you, I might need that. This one here doesn't have a name on it, but it looks like a Vulture Adams. It is either broken, well, it's probably broken, um, or it is in fail-safe mode, which, yeah, it's broken. In fail-safe mode, if there's no electricity to it or the system goes down, you can, get through. Obviously, you can see here it's catching again. Tap it and it opens. So this one's broke. Ain't got time for that. Nobody got time for that. Decoding one. Picked up old master locks without keys, decoded and cut over. That's pretty good, GQ, man. Yeah, most of the electric strikes that we get here are either 12 or 24 volt. They can work with either system. It's just a jumper in the connectors. Um, but what would happen here is you can see that this is secure because the latch, excuse me, here, just right there. There you go. The latch or the strike is not releasing. And because of this bar right here, this bar can't move because it's caught right here. Now there's behind this is a solenoid, and when it would fire, it would come up and move this out of the way, and you pull on the door, and this arm is allowed to move freely, thus allowing the strike to release. And we just sprung a spring. Cats are springing into action. It's over there somewhere. Uh, But you can see right there the solenoid. In fact, we can take this out completely. And so that action right there is what would control everything. Let's see, my battery has enough power to make it do anything. Nope. So the solenoid's probably bad. That's what normally goes bad on electric strikes is the solenoid wears out, especially if whoever set up the system originally uh, set it up to where there is constant power going to it, and then when the power is dropped, the door unlocks, or the strike releases, is the proper terminology, uh, which is stupid. I mean, honestly, it's stupid. If you're trying to keep a building secure and then your power goes out, why the hell would you want the doors to unlock and let everybody in? If your power's out, your alarm system's going to be compromised. A lot of other stuff's going to be compromised. Why would you want your doors to just swing open? I don't get it. But if that's the case, where there's constantly power running to this, then eventually they'll burn out because, of course, this thing here just isn't moving freely enough. I don't know. Anyway, it's busted. It's broke. Junk. Trash. Boom. Done. So, I'd like to, like I said, one day I'm going to do some access control videos because it surprises me to learn that there are a lot of locksmiths out there who don't do access control. I really didn't know anything about it until I started working for the shop I work at. And, I enjoy it. It's actually really, really cool. Even if, it does involve electronics and wiring, running wire, but is the installation itself of a new system is pure creativity. And my boss is awesome at that. I mean, he can go in and look and say, okay, do this, we do that, we do this, and we can put this on the door here and use this to control it, and this is how we can get it done. And, we use systems like Salto, which if you're a locksmith and you're not familiar with Salto, look it up. Uh, pretty good system. And we're selling a metric crap ton of it in this area to all kinds of, different businesses, different applications. I mean, they even have a mortise cylinder for access control, battery powered mortise cylinder that you screw into your storefront door to your Adams, right? And you don't have to do anything but a cylinder swap. Just like if you're going from Schlage to Sargent or Sargent to Yale, or like some businesses have Quickset as a key. Yes, I've seen that. They have a KW1 cylinder for their storefront door. Let's see here. They require a low voltage license by you, LPP. Okay, so where the low voltage license is required is if you're running power over 12 volt DC, or low voltage over wires. Basically, you have to have a low voltage electrician's license to pull low voltage wire, unless if you were a certain generation of locksmith before they changed the laws, then you got grandfathered in. So you're kind of okay if you're grandfathered in. I don't have my low voltage license. Really don't want to get it. Salto is really cool because you don't have to run any low voltage wires. You can run Cat 5, and in North Carolina, you don't have to have a license to run Cat 5 wire, because it's networking cable, computer cable. So basically, all you're pulling is Cat 5 for Salto systems, and the door locks themselves are battery powered. Now, in North Carolina, though, you have to be a licensed locksmith to terminate the connection into a locking device. For a long time, they had, alarm companies would install the hardware, locking hardware, especially for businesses that had remote release for storefront doors. You would have companies like ADT or, I don't know, other alarm companies that would come in and they would slap the hardware on there. And the state finally said, hey, look, the law says that if you are putting hardware on a door to keep it from opening, or controlling that door, you have to have a locksmith license. And the alarm companies weren't going to send their alarm techs through, to go get their locksmith license just to do that. So we've actually had a good number of jobs where it's alarm companies or network companies hire us because in order to terminate the connections into the door hardware, you have to be a licensed locksmith in this state. So we get some business doing that. It's kind of weird how all that is. Let's see here. Some fire escape designs need fail unsafe setup, same as maglocks do. Yeah, maglocks. I hate maglocks. We don't install maglocks. If they're already there and they need like the keypad replaced or something like that, we'll do it. But we don't do fresh installs of maglocks at all. Failsafe is about the fire code for failsafe. Let's see. Yeah, because maglocks have to be wired into your fire alarm system, and so that way, if the fire alarm goes off, the door releases. Where if you use an electric strike for the door, like this is called a rim strike, if you didn't know the terminology, and it works with an exit device. So the thing about an exit device, like we've talked about before, always free from the inside. All hardware like this should be free from the inside. So you've got that free egress, just restricted access. Um, let's see. If they broke, staff was instructed to keep using their badges to get in, so it looked like the doors were still locked to the patient. Wow. Wow. That is, wow. One apart yesterday because my arm was too short to measure for voltage on the wire and push the exit button on the wall at the same time. So I had to take it apart to confirm it's broken. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like maglocks. I really don't. Um, I mean, the good thing is they hold when they're working. They hold really quite well, but surprisingly, so do electric strikes. Um, let's see here. Finish the home run. Yeah. Um, Lowell Forbes getting into automotive car keys at your company. Good luck with that. I have no advice for car keys. Um, if you come into the shop while I'm in there, then and you have a key to an '87 Firebird that you need copied, I can do that. If you need a prox fob for your 2018 whatever with push to start, I will tell you when the automotive person is going to be in. See, locks still had power, but the locks failed. Also backup generator. Gotcha. All right, folks. So we've been going on for about an hour, oh, over an hour. That's awesome. It's one lock I didn't talk about. Sliding door patio lock. Piece of crap. I replaced it. Be sure when you go to replace these, take them out, measure this way, measure this way, measure this, and get all your measure this way, get all your measurements, and then just order a direct replacement because you don't want to have to mortise it. Also, if it's difficult to use, you might have to kind of massage the through holes on the door a little bit. I would check that. I hate those. Um, all Forbes. Honda questions. Just ask Chase. I don't do Hondas, Dana. I don't do anything. I can do, like, as far as programming, I know how to do, like, early 2000s Jeep Wranglers. So, like, an '04 Jeep Wrangler, I can program those. I've done those before. And cut, you have to cut a non-transponder, just solid brass key, and a new transponder key as well, and then have your original key. All keys lost, you're SOL if you're asking me to do it. But Marie, who is my coworker, she's the automotive guru. She does all that. She can, rekey an ignition. She can do all kinds of cool stuff, and my hat's off to her. She doesn't like touching access control, so we kind of balance out um, a little bit. And around here in this area, there are so many locksmiths who do automotive. Like that is their thing. So the market's like kind of, I don't want to say the market's saturated around here because we stay busy with automotive too. Um, but you can find, practically every locksmith in our market area does automotive. Not every locksmith in our area does access control. Not every locksmith in our area does door closers or exit device installs or paddle operator installs. So, you kind of find your little niche market and go with it. Now, if you're, single, basically you work for yourself, then yeah, you gotta expand and do other stuff to be able to, survive and make money. Um, No chip in a '04 Jeep Wrangler. Um, what year is that then, Jay, that you have to cut the transponder and the brass key in order to program the new copy? Because I've done that a couple times. I mean, one time one time I did it to learn how. Like, boss was there and he's like, "Okay, this is what you're gonna do, step by step." Which he can do automotive, but he doesn't like it, so he doesn't force me to learn it. Because I'm learning access control and commercial and all this other stuff. But anyway, and then the second time I did it, uh, really the only reason why I did it is because I sort of remembered, and the customer was really really cute. So that's what I did. Um, some motion new cars. Let's see. Some '05 to '07 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I know it was Wrangler. Might have been later than that. Um, I don't know. Anyway, alrighty, folks. Almost 20 after 11. We're going to go ahead and cut it here. We didn't talk about this multi-lock IC. That'll be a story for next week. For next week. Um, I'll keep that handy out of the way of the kitties. Put it over here. Remind me to talk about it next week if I don't have something else. Remember that Christmas Eve I will not be live. I will actually be working the popo job Christmas Eve. So I won't be live that day, but I will be live next weekend. And like I said, just kind of stay tuned for a new announcement for a new project coming up soon. Maybe interesting. If you're interested, maybe just kind of stay tuned. Anyway, y'all, have a great rest of your weekend. May none of your locks have graphite in them this week. Thank you, each and every one of you, for coming in, participating in the chat, and showing up, hanging out. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm glad that I was able to have some actual stuff to look at today. Maybe next week we'll actually do something. Yeah, yeah. Y'all tell me what you want me to do, locksmithing related. Like, okay, I know y'all want to see cats, but tell me what you want, what something you would like to see me actually physically do. So, anyway, y'all have a great weekend. Uh, Hopefully, it won't be too rainy and cold, or too hot and sweltering where you are, or too snowy. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you next time.